Little girl sells her toys to help a hospital. Her selfless act earns her an unexpected and heartwarming reward. Lila Everhart was an 8-year-old girl with light brown hair and bright, curious eyes. Each day, she found joy in her colorful room, filled with toys of all shapes and sizes. But one chilly afternoon, as she sat by her window, her thoughts drifted beyond her cherished belongings. She had heard whispers about the local hospital's struggles, and her heart felt heavy for the children who needed help. They must feel so alone, she murmured to herself, her brow furrowing in concern. As night fell, Lila's room was a warm sanctuary, but the shadows of her thoughts loomed large. She gazed around at her toys, each one a treasure. There was her favorite stuffed bear, a soft, worn-out friend, a colorful puzzle that once filled her with laughter, and a beautiful doll with a sparkling dress. Suddenly, a heart-wrenching realization struck her. What if my toys could bring joy to those kids? She whispered, her voice barely above a breath. The thought ignited a flicker of determination in her small heart. Tomorrow, she decided, she would organize a garage sale. This could make a difference, she thought, her excitement bubbling like soda fizzing in a glass. Lila could picture the children's smiles as they picked out toys, feeling hope and happiness. I just need to find a way to help, she promised herself, her mind racing with ideas. The following morning dawned bright and clear. Lila woke up with the sun shining through her window. She jumped out of bed, her heart racing with anticipation. Today is the day, she exclaimed, her voice echoing with enthusiasm. She gathered her toys and began labeling each one with a price, careful to keep the amounts low. This isn't about money, she told herself. It's about helping. As she set up her garage sale, her hands trembled slightly. What if no one came? What if no one wanted her toys? But when the first neighbor arrived, Lila's nerves faded into excitement. Hi, I'm selling my toys to help the hospital, she explained, her smile wide. This bear is only $1. Neighbors began to trickle in, some chatting and laughing, while others took a moment to ask about her cause. Lila felt a mix of joy and anxiety as her toys found new homes. Thank you, she said repeatedly, her heart swelling with pride. Yet, as the day wore on, a shadow of disappointment crept in. The money collected was just a small amount, far less than what the hospital needed. Is this really enough? She wondered, her brow furrowing again. Doubt gnawed at her, but then she remembered the joy her toys had once brought her, and she felt a spark of hope. Even a little can help, right? She reassured herself, taking a deep breath. With the sun beginning to set, Lila looked around at the empty spaces where her toys once stood. She felt a strange mix of sadness and pride. I did my best, she reminded herself, even as her heart ached. The day had not turned out as she imagined, but she had tried, and that thought brought a smile back to her face. In that moment, Lila understood something profound. Kindness doesn't always come from grand gestures or big sums of money. Sometimes it comes from a small act, a heartfelt intention, and the courage to take that first step. As she closed her garage door, Lila felt a warmth in her chest. She had planted a seed of kindness, and who knew what might grow from it? With her heart full of hope, Lila knew one thing for sure. This was just the beginning. The sun rose slowly over the neighborhood, casting a warm glow on Lila Everhart's house. Today was the day she had been waiting for, the day of her garage sale. With excitement bubbling in her chest, Lila jumped out of bed and rushed to her window. She could see the bright blue sky and feel the soft breeze on her face. Today felt special. Lila spent the morning carefully setting up her garage sale. She arranged her beloved toys on a long table, each one neatly labeled with a price. I want to make sure everyone knows I'm doing this to help the hospital, she said to herself, placing a tag on her favorite stuffed bear. This bear can bring joy to someone else, just like it did for me. As she worked, her mom came out to check on her. You're doing such a great job, Lila. I'm proud of you, her mom said, smiling warmly. Lila felt her heart swell with happiness. Thanks, Mom. I hope a lot of people come. Before long, the first neighbors began to arrive. Lila's heart raced. She took a deep breath and greeted them with a bright smile. Hi, welcome to my garage sale. I'm selling my toys to help the hospital. Her voice was a little shaky, but she was determined to share her cause. Oh, that's wonderful, Lila. What a kind thing to do. Mrs. Thompson, an elderly neighbor, replied. I'd love to help. She picked up a colorful puzzle and handed Lila some cash. Keep up the good work. Lila's joy grew as she watched people pick out toys, but as the hours passed, a flutter of anxiety began to creep in. She counted the money she had raised. It was only a small amount compared to what the hospital needed. I thought I could do more, Lila whispered to herself, feeling a pang of disappointment. Just then, her friend Jake arrived. Hey Lila, this is so cool, can I help? He asked, glancing at the toys. Lila nodded, grateful for his support. Yes, please. I could use some help explaining why I'm doing this. As Jake joined her, they told each passerby about the garage sale. We want to raise money for the kids at the hospital, Lila explained. Every toy sold helps them get what they need. But even as they spoke, Lila's heart felt heavy. She looked around at the toys that had once brought her so much joy. What if this isn't enough? She thought. What if I can't help them? Lila, don't worry. You're doing something really good, Jake reassured her, noticing her worried expression. Every little bit counts. Look how many people are here to support you. Lila smiled weakly, still feeling uncertain, but deep down, she remembered the laughter and happiness her toys had brought her. Maybe just sharing that joy is enough, she thought. As the day went on, more neighbors showed up. Some brought their kids, who excitedly picked out toys. Lila felt a little spark of hope. See? You're making a difference, Jake said as he helped a little girl choose a stuffed animal. Look how happy she is. Lila watched as the little girl hugged the toy tightly, her face lighting up with a big smile. I hope it makes her feel better, Lila said softly. As the sun began to set, Lila looked around at her nearly empty table. The toys she had cherished were finding new homes, and the money was adding up, but it still felt small compared to her hopes. I wish I could do more, she whispered to Jake. Hey, you've done a lot already, Jake replied, placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. Just think about how many kids can enjoy those toys. You're already a hero to them. Lila's heart swelled with gratitude. She might not have raised enough money to solve all the problems, but she had started something important. Thank you, Jake, she said, her voice steady now. I won't give up. I'll keep trying to help however I can. And with that, the sun dipped below the horizon, leaving the sky painted with hues of orange and pink, as Lila felt a flicker of renewed determination within her. She knew this was just the beginning of her journey, and she was ready for whatever came next. As the day of the garage sale moved along, the sun shone brightly, and Lila felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. Just when she thought the day could not get any better, an unexpected visitor arrived at the edge of her driveway. It was Mr. Jenkins, the retired photographer from down the street. He wore a wide-brimmed hat and a friendly smile. Hello, Lila, he called out, waving both his hands. I heard about your garage sale. What a wonderful thing you're doing. Lila beamed with pride. Thank you, Mr. Jenkins. I just want to help the kids at the hospital. Mr. Jenkins knelt down beside her. I think your story deserves to be shared. Would you mind if I took some pictures and posted them on social media? I believe it could help spread the word. Lila's eyes widened with joy. Really? That would be amazing. I want more people to know about it. With a nod of encouragement, Mr. Jenkins pulled out his camera. He took several pictures of Lila surrounded by her toys, and with each click, Lila felt a sense of purpose grow inside her. You're doing something special, Lila. You're inspiring others, he said, capturing her bright smile. Once Mr. Jenkins finished, he promised to share her story online. Lila watched as he walked away, feeling a little spark of hope. She didn't know how far this would go, but she felt something big was coming. As the hours passed, the garage sale began to buzz with energy. People from the neighborhood and beyond started to arrive. They wandered through the rows of toys, smiling and chatting. Lila's heart swelled with happiness when she saw her toys finding new homes. Each sale felt like a win for the children in need. "Look at this cute teddy bear," a little boy exclaimed, hugging the stuffed animal tightly. "Can I have it, Mom?" "Of course, sweetie. It's for a good cause," his mother replied, handing Lila a few dollar bills. "Thank you so much," Lila said, her voice full of excitement. She realized that each sale was not just about money, it was about helping others. But then, as the afternoon wore on, Lila felt a wave of disappointment wash over her. She glanced at the small pile of money she had collected so far. It was not nearly enough for the hospital's needs. She bit her lip, trying to fight back tears. "I thought we could raise more," she whispered to herself, feeling the weight of doubt creeping in. Just then, a group of neighbors arrived, carrying boxes full of toys and other items. "Lila, we heard about your sale," Mrs. Thompson, an older woman with kind eyes, said as she set down a box. "We wanted to help." Lila's heart raced. "You brought more toys for the sale?" "Yes, we all want to support your cause," Mr. Thompson added, smiling warmly. "You've inspired us." Lila could hardly believe it. "Thank you so much. This means a lot to me." As the neighbors began to set up their donations, Lila felt a rush of joy. The garage sale was no longer just about her toys. It was now a community event. People started to gather around, eager to see what was new. "I can't wait to see all the toys," a girl shouted, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Lila smiled, feeling a renewed sense of hope. It was clear that her small idea had sparked something much bigger. As the crowd grew, so did her confidence. She could see the excitement on everyone's faces, and she knew that together they could make a real difference. "Look at all the toys we have now," Lila exclaimed, her voice filled with joy. Mr. Jenkins returned, his camera ready once more. "This is incredible, Lila. The whole community is coming together because of you." "Really?" Lila asked, her eyes wide with surprise. "Yes, you've shown everyone the power of kindness," he replied, snapping photos of the lively scene. Feeling motivated, Lila began to share stories about her toys with the new visitors. "This doll used to be my favorite. I hope it brings someone else as much joy as it brought me," she said, her voice warm and inviting. As the day continued, Lila realized that her heart was no longer heavy with doubt. Instead, it was filled with gratitude and excitement. She had ignited a flame of kindness in her community, and together, they were ready to make a difference. As the garage sale continued, Lila noticed a little girl standing shyly at the edge of the crowd. Her light brown hair was tied back in a neat ponytail, and her face looked a bit pale. Lila felt a pull in her heart, a sense that this girl needed to be noticed. Gathering her courage, she approached her. "Hi, I'm Lila," she said, smiling brightly. "Are you here to check out the toys?" The girl looked up, her eyes sparkling with a mix of curiosity and shyness. "I'm Sophie," she replied softly. "I'm just looking for something special." Lila's heart raced with excitement. "I have lots of toys. Some of them were my favorites. I hope they can help kids who are sick." Sophie nodded slowly, her expression turning serious. "I'm one of those kids. I go to the hospital a lot." Lila's smile faded slightly. She could see the strength in Sophie's eyes, but also the weariness of someone who had faced too many challenges. "What do you like to do?" Lila asked, hoping to brighten the moment. "I love to draw," Sophie said, her voice gaining a little strength. "I dream of being an artist one day, but sometimes it's hard when I'm not feeling well." Lila felt a rush of empathy. "You're really brave, Sophie. I think you can be an artist. Drawing is amazing." Sophie's fragile smile returned, and Lila felt a warmth inside her. "Thank you. I really want to draw again. I just need to get better first." "I want to help you get better," Lila said, her voice earnest. "That's why I'm doing this garage sale. I want to raise money for the hospital so kids like you can have the care they need." Sophie's eyes glimmered with gratitude. "That's so kind of you. I wish I could do something to help too." Lila thought for a moment. "You already are helping. Just by being here and sharing your story, it makes me want to do even more." The two girls stood together, bonding over their dreams and hopes. Lila felt a sense of purpose grow stronger inside her. She realized that her toys were not just objects, they were symbols of hope for kids like Sophie. "I used to have this teddy bear," Lila said, her voice filled with nostalgia. "He was my best friend when I felt sad. I hope someone else can feel that love too." Sophie's eyes widened. "I had a teddy bear too. His name was Mr. Cuddles. I took him everywhere." "Did you have adventures with him?" Lila asked, intrigued. "Yeah. We went to space, and we fought dragons." Sophie giggled, and Lila joined in, their laughter echoing through the yard. But then, Sophie's smile faded again. "But now, Mr. Cuddles is at the hospital with me. I miss him so much." Lila's heart ached for her new friend. "I'm sure he misses you too. Maybe he's waiting for you to come back and have more adventures." "Yeah, maybe," Sophie whispered, a hint of hope creeping back into her voice. "I really want to be strong again." "You will be strong, Sophie," Lila said, her determination shining through. "You're already so brave, and I'll keep doing this until we can help kids like you get better." Sophie looked at Lila, her fragile smile returning. "You're really special, Lila. Thank you for caring." Lila felt a swell of pride and purpose. "We can care together. You're my friend now, and we'll support each other." As the day wore on, Lila realized that her garage sale had become more than just a way to raise money. It was about the connections she was making, the stories being shared, and the hope that was growing. With Sophie by her side, Lila felt inspired to keep pushing through her challenges. She knew that the bond they had formed would fuel her spirit as she continued her mission. Together, they were creating a ripple of kindness that would touch many hearts. As the last few customers wandered away from the garage sale, Lila stood at the table, her heart racing. She felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. She had worked hard to organize the event, and she was eager to see how much money she had raised for the hospital. The sun was beginning to set, casting a warm glow over the neighborhood, and Lila took a deep breath, hoping for the best. "Hey, Lila," called out Mr. Jenkins, the retired photographer who had helped spread the word. He was holding a small envelope. "I just counted up all the donations. You won't believe how much you raised." Lila's eyes widened. "Really? How much?" Mr. Jenkins grinned as he handed her the envelope. "Open it and see." With trembling hands, Lila opened the envelope. Her heart skipped a beat as she pulled out the stack of bills. "Oh my goodness," she exclaimed, looking up at Mr. Jenkins with wide eyes. This is so much." "Exactly. You raised over $500, he said, his voice full of excitement. "That's incredible for a garage sale." Lila's mind raced. $500. But then a wave of doubt washed over her. "Is it enough, though? The hospital needs so much more," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Mr. Jenkins placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Lila, this is a fantastic start, and you've brought the community together. That's what really matters." Just as Lila began to feel hopeful again, a car pulled into the driveway. The hospital director, Mr. Thompson, stepped out, his face beaming with appreciation. "Good evening, Lila," he called, walking towards her. "I heard about your amazing sale. I had to come see it for myself." "Hi, Mr. Thompson," Lila said, her voice a mix of surprise and delight. "Did you really hear about it?" "Of course. Your efforts have made quite an impact," he replied, kneeling down to her level. "I want to thank you for all the hard work you put into this. It means so much to the hospital and the children we care for." Lila felt her cheeks flush with pride. "Thank you. I just wanted to help," she said, her voice growing stronger. "But I still worry if I did enough." Mr. Thompson smiled warmly. You did more than enough. We are planning to name a toy room after you. It will be a special place for children to play and feel happy while they are at the hospital. Lila's eyes widened in disbelief. A toy room? After me? She asked, her voice filled with awe. Yes, you have shown such kindness, and it deserves to be recognized, he said, his eyes sparkling. Your small act of kindness has inspired so many, Lila. You have made a real difference. Tears filled Lila's eyes as she looked at Mr. Thompson. I didn't expect any of this. I just wanted to help the kids. And you did, Mr. Thompson said gently, wiping a tear from her cheek with his thumb. You may not see it all yet, but your actions have sparked a wave of generosity in this community. You are a true leader. Lila felt a warm glow in her heart. It was a feeling she had never experienced before, one that filled her with joy and purpose. Thank you so much, Mr. Thompson. I want to keep helping. I want to do more. That's the spirit, he encouraged. And I believe you will. Remember, every small act counts. You may be just one girl, but you have the power to inspire many. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the garage sale came to an end, but Lila's heart was full. She realized that kindness was not just about raising money. It was about creating connections and bringing people together. Mr. Jenkins, thank you for everything, she said as she turned to him. I couldn't have done it without you. You did all the hard work, Lila. I just shared your story, he said with a wink, but I'm glad I could help. Lila looked around at the now empty tables, her toys finding new homes. I think this is just the beginning. I want to keep helping kids like Sophie. They deserve so much joy. And in that moment, Lila Everhart understood that her small act of kindness had grown into something much bigger, not only for the hospital, but for herself and her community. With a smile on her face, she knew she would continue to share her heart with others, one small act at a time. The days turned into weeks, and the story of Lila Everhart and her garage sale spread like wildfire throughout the community. Lila felt a warm glow in her heart whenever she heard someone mention her name. She had become a symbol of kindness, and the impact of her small act of generosity was beginning to blossom into something much larger. One sunny afternoon, Lila sat on her porch, watching children play in the park across the street. She could still remember the excitement of the garage sale, the way her toys found new homes, and the smiles on the faces of those who came to support her cause. As she reminisced, her best friend Mia joined her. Lila, look, Mia shouted, pointing towards the park. Everyone is wearing those t-shirts, the ones that say, kindness is cool. Lila's eyes widened with surprise. Really? They made t-shirts? She felt her cheeks flush with happiness. The local community center had started making shirts to promote kindness and to remember her efforts. Yes, and they are raising more money for the hospital, Mia exclaimed, her voice filled with excitement. People want to help just like you did. Lila smiled, her heart swelling with pride. I can't believe it. I just wanted to help a little bit. Mia nudged her playfully. A little bit. Lila, you did something amazing. You inspired everyone. That afternoon, Lila decided to go to the community center to see the t-shirts for herself. As she walked through the doors, she was greeted by a cheerful crowd. Children were playing games, and adults were chatting with smiles on their faces. Lila felt a sense of belonging wash over her. Hey, Lila, called Mr. Jenkins, the retired photographer who had helped share her story. Come here, we want to show you something. Lila hurried over, her curiosity piqued. Mr. Jenkins stood in front of a large poster covered in pictures. Each photo captured moments from the garage sale and the community's efforts since then. Look at all this, he said, waving his hand over the poster. These are all the people who came out to support you. And there's more. Each picture tells a story of kindness. Lila's eyes sparkled as she gazed at the images. Some showed kids with their new toys, while others depicted neighbors baking cookies for a fundraiser. Each picture reminded her of the joy her small idea had sparked. "This is incredible," Lila exclaimed, feeling overwhelmed with gratitude. "I didn't know so many people were helping." "Your kindness has touched everyone, Lila," Mr. Jenkins said. "You showed us all that even one small act can start a wave of generosity." Suddenly, Sophie, the young girl Lila had met during the garage sale, ran up to her, holding a colorful t-shirt. "Lila, look, I got one too," she said, beaming with pride. Lila knelt to hug Sophie. "I'm so happy to see you. How are you feeling?" "Much better. Thanks to you, I can play again," Sophie replied, her eyes shining. "You made a difference, Lila. You helped me and so many others." Lila felt a rush of emotions. "I just wanted to help," she said softly. "But now I see how much love is in our community." Sophie nodded. "We all want to help each other. You started it." As the day went on, Lila joined in the activities, playing games and laughing with her friends. She felt connected to everyone around her, and the spirit of generosity filled the air. Later, while sitting on the grass, Lila reflected on her journey. She realized that true wealth was not about having many toys or treasures. It was about the friendships she had built, the smiles she had shared, and the love that surrounded her. With a deep breath, Lila stood up, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. "I want to keep helping," she declared to Mia and Sophie. "Let's think of more ways we can make a difference." Mia grinned and clapped her hands. "Yes, let's plan something big." Sophie jumped in excitement. "We could organize a fun run. Everyone could join and raise money." Lila felt her heart race with ideas. "That's perfect. Let's do it together." As they brainstormed, Lila knew that this was just the beginning. Her small act of kindness had grown into a legacy, inspiring others to spread love and generosity. And with her heart full of hope, she was ready to lead the way. Share this story if you believe that kindness can spark a wave of positivity in our communities. Leave a comment about a small act of generosity that has made a big impact in your life, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories like this one.